The clanging of the city's bells rings out, heralding the momentous day for the citizens of the Hanging Bastion, once the capital city of the Kingdom of Forvath, now an isolated island in the sky. Today is the day the city looks to reclaim the comforts and conveniences of old by striking out across the skies with their first airfaring vessel in search of other islands with resources or allies. 20 years ago, the city lurched into the sky in response to desperate magics and fervent prayers to escape the all-consuming hordes. Only 3 months previously, the miasma-shrouded chimerical beasts appeared and began the relentless destruction of all life. Let me share some artwork of at least people's descriptions of these beasts. Even in death, their potent miasma converted the plants into corrupting influences, and their corpses poisoned and changed those still living. All the stories simply describe various monster parts. You see the horns of a minotaur or of a bull. You see snake limbs and other arms. You see insectoid mandibles and claws and legs. No one agrees what they look like for sure. Most of the stories are vague, aside from the purplish red miasma that consumes them. The horde grew larger by the day, spreading in all directions. The kingdom saw no chance of survival until the miracle occurred. The capital rose into the air. None of the relentless corrupted beasts possessed wings or flight, and the city made its retreat. The early years were tough. The population of the capital was larger than the fields that came with it could support. Weather patterns had shifted, and there was less rain. The channels from the lake had to be dammed to keep what water did fall. All the raw materials and luxury goods that used to find their way to the capital from caravans and traders disappeared, and the city learned to do much with less. Priests and mages were reduced to food and material production. Magically produced tasteless porridge and stone mined from countless castings of wall of stone became the mainstay of the city's supply lines. Old wooden buildings on the outskirts were torn down, and the interior buildings climbed higher with walls of stone as more land was reclaimed for farming efforts. Even with the magical and divine aid, the city felt one disaster from destruction, and the morale in the city continued to decline. Until this year, a consortium of skilled artisans from both the Reclaimers Guild and the Architects Guild joined with members of the Mage Guild to try to produce a vessel that could fly. Nearly ever present on clear weather days, there was a smudge to the east, the hint of another island in the sky with them. Other specks occasionally passed by, suggesting there are some relatively fixed floating islands and other more erratic ones. And of course, higher in the sky, the Heaven Isles, long shrouded in mystery and legends from before the recent crisis. After much debate and accusations of wasteful use of valuable wooden cloth, the airship, share that picture as well here, the airship was completed and its initial crew selected. Guildmaster Tiana and Captain Lothlin of the new Airships Guild have staked their reputation on this expedition and sacrificed nearly all of their personal belongings and housing to serve as the deck and blimp of the airship. Captain Lothlin had built a large merchant fleet in the before times, across the span of his long elven life, and was always known for discovering new destinations, new luxuries, and exciting stories. He poured his knowledge of ships into Master Tiana's fervent imagination. Tiana always balked at the more mundane and boring designs that were needed to stretch the resources the furthest. And somehow, without any first-hand shipbuilding knowledge in the city, Lothlin's experiences, Tiana's inventiveness, and the knowledge in the libraries led to success. Archmage Leonora is known to have delivered some magical item to help with the airship, but the exact nature has been kept a secret. The test flight last week, simply circling Hanging Bastion, carefully staying over land for the bulk of the journey, with just a brief excursion past the rim. Captain Lothlin looked ecstatic to be helming a vessel once again, and the test flight was a success, though the captain reported much less vertical control than desired. Journeys to the Heaven Isles was off the agenda for the time being, and the distant islands on the horizon had better be close to the same altitude, or the mission would become vastly more dangerous. A crew of 9 makes their way to the ship amid the cheers and some jeers of the excited populace. Crates of foodstuffs are brought aboard to serve as rations, and the crowd turns nervous counting up the expense. A week of food for 9. While not much at the scale for the city, is still a valuable cache that's hard to watch disappear, possibly forever with no return. Guildmaster Frange of the Farmers Guild. Let me share his artwork as well here. Looks on, extremely dour, but well-dressed. Very few in the city still put as much effort into their appearance. It's just not worth the water, the expensive soap, but he always still looks like a noble of old, despite being a commoner. He looks upset at the waste of the products of his guild, though most know he's more upset about the possible loss of status if someone else begins feeding the city. The crew is divided into 2 groups of 4 plus the captain. The first group are the harvesters. Their tasks are to lumber and harvest whatever can be found at the landing site. Lori and Senek, 2 humans from the Farmers Guild. Senek's an older, gruff man, known more for his stamina than anything else. Lori's younger, though countless sunburns from working outside have aged her appearance. Her youthful optimism and excitement for the mission is often at odds with Senek's pessimism. The other 2 are from the Reclaimers Guild. Silu, an elven miner who would love to find ore and gemstones rather than reshaping endless walls of stone, and Dorn, an elderly halfling who wants to leave a better life for his grandchildren. And then, the 4 explorers, charged with more fully exploring the island, finding what might warrant prioritization for harvesting or cultivation, making contact with any other survivors, and protecting the harvesters as needed. Each of them has a story for how they reached this location, this mission. Let's hear from them. Serena's story starts about 2 weeks ago.
As soon as Serena woke up and saw in the news that they are planning an expedition to another island, she knew she had to be on that boat. She was motivated and she wouldn't take no for an answer. So she rushed over and found out that no, only select people are able to come, and only if you have powerful backing. So, knowing one of the people who definitely would have trouble selecting who can go, she ran over and bothered. Well, friend is a bit of a heavy-weighted word, but an acquaintance named Archmage Leonora, and inserted herself as the only choice for a mage to be there, because she has no magic skills that are desirable for the island at all. No one really wants a devil's magic around, so she's inserted herself into the expedition with her logic that she is the only choice. She is motivated and won't take no for an answer even from this dear friend of hers. It took some coercing, but eventually she got a yes.
Though the 2 weeks have passed by while Serena eagerly counts down the days for the mission. We now turn to Gribbo, discussing the mission.
You see, this is about a week or so prior, or a couple weeks prior to the mission itself. You see 2 men sitting around a dinner table, sharing a meal together. One is an elf with a lithe build. They have a caster's robe on the chair behind them with spell paraphernalia and a spell book. The other is a hobgoblin. Looks battle-hardened, he's got scars on him, and sitting next to him on the floor is a cobbled together suit of armor, as well as what looks to be a shield made from a large frying pan. They're talking about their days when the hobgoblin pipes up. Well, had a good morning, Darren. I worked on my armored skirt a little bit. Need to get some more spoons from over the kitchen. I'm not sure. I think they're running low, though. Then I headed over to town hall. I guess they want me on that expedition. Came back here and started working on dinner. The elf interjects. Whoa. Gribbo, did you say they want you on the expedition? Do you mean the airship that's gonna travel off the island? Well, yeah, I didn't want to make a big deal about it. I don't know why they want me there. Gribbo, you were in the guard when the city rose, so you have experience there. You're somewhat good at medical, if they need that, and you're quite the hand at crafting. I don't see why they wouldn't want you there. Oh, I know, Darren, but, I don't want to leave you behind. You'll be, remember, when back a long time ago when you almost fell off the ledge there when you were working? Gribbo, that was years ago when I had just started working, helping out the city. I mean, it makes for a great meet cute, but I don't think there's any reason you can't go on the mission. I'll be fine here by myself. Besides, our supplies are really running low. They kind of continue their dinner. They're washing dishes afterwards, and Gribbo pipes up. Well, you do have a point. I hear that, that innkeeper Serena down the road? I hear she's going on that mission, and I'd imagine maybe she could use somebody in front of her. She's right good at casting spells, but, I don't know. Seems like she could get herself in the lick of trouble. Gribbo, you have a lot of skills to offer. I think it'd be a good idea for you to go. I'll miss you, but I understand. I guess you're right, Darren. I mean, there's going to be a bunch of new people on that boat, and I guess we'll have to get them up to speed. Gribbo, maybe go a little easy on that. Everybody's going to have their own skills here, and I'm sure you'll bring a lot, but don't forget that other people can do stuff too. All right, Darren, I'll go and tell them I'm going to head out on the mission.
Next, we will meet Rench.
Alexandru Gelos used to be a circuit judge that would come in and out of the kingdom about once every 8 months or so, making their loop around, just providing some law for the smaller settlements that didn't necessarily have their own resources along those lines. But that was a long time ago. These days, some 20 years or so later, there's just Rench. Rench is disheartened with a lot of what this kingdom has become. Now, understand it, there's a lot of upheaval, both metaphorical and literal, but what the rulers, what the king did, never quite sat right with me. It was always they just disappeared. Sure, the guild leaders were here, and they did step up as de facto leaders, but they just vanished. All the royalty that was. Between that and the fact that the guild leaders were more interested to compete amongst themselves rather than actually put what I thought was the interest of the residents of this island first and foremost, I gave up that post a long time ago. In fact, it was the same reason why I volunteered to head out on this airship. I am a little tired of this kingdom, or what is left of it, and the only reason I'm really reaching out to any other members of the general society here is to make sure that this airship gets its recognition, gets its funding, and gets its mission accomplished. We've got to find something else, and if the people who are supposed to be the rulers and leaders here won't step up to fill that role, then we're gonna have to.
And lastly, we have Viktor.
Yeah, so you see a young man in dark robes moving through the city streets. He raises his head as he kind of hears sound in the distance. The ringing of iron on stone echoes between the narrow streets long before the worksite comes into view. What had once been a merchant's warehouse now stands as little more than 3 stubborn walls and a sagging corner, collapsing under its own weight. A biting storm had blown in from the north and ripped through the city a few nights past and left the structure leaning and bedraggled. A half dozen laborers move with practiced rhythm, carrying dressed blocks to waiting carts while another pair pry loose old timber beams. It's not a demolition born of haste or destruction, but of careful dismantling. At the center of the work stands a broad-shouldered man. He works with quiet patience, his movements measured, delivered, never hurried. Years of labor show in his lean strength, built of countless days of laboring. His weathered face is framed by a heavy black mustache, touched faintly with gray, a shadow of stubble all along his chin and along his sides of his face, and his dark hair is streaked with silver that kind of falls untidily over the side. You see nearby his iconic kind of gray fur cloak that he regularly wears has been folded neatly atop a nearby wagon, leaving him working only in his simple black and gray clothes. Dust is clinging to his gloves as he is busy with hefting this large maul in his hands. This stone-splitting maul rises and falls with a measured certainty. One strike breaks away crumbling mortar. Another loosens weathered stone. A third sends the block falling and settling exactly into waiting hands. Nothing is dramatic about the work. It is simply well done. Easy now, the man calls out, weight still leaning a bit east. The crew adjusts as the stone lowers steadily down onto a waiting sledge. A young voice calls out from behind. Steward Viktor? He turns. This newcomer is wearing the dark traveling robes of his order, although they lack the wear and tear of the years that his has. Oh, I've been looking all over. And so you found me. What is it you need? Servant Mathis has asked me to bring you back once I had found you. He wishes to discuss the details of this upcoming expedition. He's received word from the guilds that the preparations are complete. So it's to be tomorrow then. First light. Viktor nodded once, and as he's standing there, looks across the work site that they're currently standing with it. Help me finish this, boy. Well, I wasn't really sent to do it. No, we'll finish this here before we leave. Abandoned work won't make the mission any easier. Over the next half an hour, Viktor works with the remaining crew and this young initiate to finish the careful demolition of this building. Timber is stacked by length, stone blocks sorted by size, and broken fragments gathered and crushed down to be used for future mortar. Nothing to be wasted. When at last this final load has been set along its path and sent into the city, he looks across the worksite one time, solid, orderly, ready for whatever comes next. He turns back towards the boy and says, well, I guess it's time to head back to the order. It's a day's rest welcome. We've done what we should, and we've done it as it should be done. And with long measured paces, he begins the long walk back to their order hall for a warm meal, some shared company, satisfaction of good day's work before beginning the adventure to come.
Oh, as our 4 explorers make their way onto the ship, Leonora stops Serena. You never came by the Mage's Tower as requested. Why is that?
I had things to do at the wagon. You know, I served food out of it. Also, there was this, I had to make a court date. Not mine, of course. Someone defending themselves from, like, property rights. And they had a little bit of lumber, you know, and someone was trying to get that out of them. I have a busy life. I don't have the luxury to go by your tower all the time.
I don't know what the captain sees in you, but we need this mission to be a success. So please, take these to keep the crew safe. And she does hand over a number of 2 scrolls and a wand. Return them if you can, but better to be used and save a life than be returned unused. She looks exhausted and haggard. You know she has worked long hours to prepare these tools for the mission, while still accomplishing all of her usual duties.
Well, I hope we don't necessarily need any of these.
You're going out from the island. Humans are not made to fly, but we need to. Magic can help keep people safe.
Serena adjusts her wings. Yes, yeah. Anything else
I know
would
you
like
think
me
you
to
have
do?
those wings, but you know as well as I do, you cannot fly.
I've been practicing. I can hover for like 2 seconds.
So can I. And I don't have wings at all.
Anyways, is there anything else you want me to do while...
No, that was it. Just do your best, come back, and please, stop by the tower afterward.
Alright, I suppose I can stop by the tower. Do you want me to bring drinks, or is this going to be more of a business thing?
Oh, business, of course.
So drinks anyways. Okay.
Captain Lothlin, I don't know if I've shared his artwork yet. Let me get that for you all. We are. But Captain Lothlin starts kind of trying to usher all of you onto the boat, getting you all through the crowds and up onto the boat. He tells you to kind of find a place along the railings and hold on. Whenever we take off, it will be a little rugged at times. The winds around the island are a little unpredictable. We need you all to look brave, though. He then turns to the gathered crowd, yelling much more loudly over the clamor in the distance. Today marks the beginning of a new chapter in our city's history. We will claim the skies as our own. We will thrive again. And the deckhands on the island release the ropes that were mooring the vessel to the shore, and the vessel slowly pulls away from the island, with the captain expertly controlling the ship through the series of strong updrafts. After the vessel has turned away and aimed for the distant smudge. Well, that should be the worst of it until we get close to arrival. We don't have much in terms of comfort or protection, but if you want to jump down into the cargo hold for some protection from the wind, feel free. If not, probably safest to hunker down between the stairs and the aft castle. I'd appreciate anyone who wants to take turns keeping a watch. You don't know what to expect, and identifying any other islands would be valuable. let me put you on a different map now.
Fancy.
So here is your little airship. It's not much for 9 people, especially with one of you size large. There's no quarters on this ship. There is the cargo hold below. It does expect to put into port every night or weather the air on its own. There, of course, is the giant blimp above, but we're not showing that on the map here. It has the small outriggers that seem to be used for some amount of stabilization, steering, and things of that nature. And Captain Laughlin looks very happy at the helm. The 4 harvesters, they are taking his advice and kind of piling in just to that area right between the stairs up to his little observation post in that back area. They're basically all kind of in these 4 squares, but down on the main level. They all seem like they haven't got their air legs yet, or whatever you want to call sea legs, and they don't seem thrilled with the journey, despite Lori, who seemed like she was really looking forward to this. Now she is clutching her stomach a little. On deck, just to explain some of the other details you see, so there is the raised forecastle and aft castle. There is a small set of some of the rations you were shipped with right by where Gribbo is standing. There's a lot more below deck. Otherwise, there was nothing sent with you. You're kind of expected to make do with what you find, or else it wasn't worth sending you. And yeah, what would you be wanting to do at the start of your journey?
Well, Rench was starting his journey, waving to the people who were seeing us off. But once we got a fair distance away and Captain Laughlin was beginning his speech, a lot of Rench's time was spent looking almost disappointingly back at the kingdom, back at the island, at the Hanging Bastion overall. But once we are underway and people have started to hunker down, I think, Viktor, we got the same kind of thought in mind. I'm willing to post up for a watch, keep an eye on the open skies here.
Take turns.
Yeah. But I think I will do that a little closer to the center, maybe in between the 2 masts here. Put my back up against one of the masts and just post up with my crossbow and take in the vast blue everywhere, I guess.
You can tell, of course, being a large creature, you are used to the other races not always accounting for your scale. You can tell that the railings here would do little to stop you from falling over.
It's one of the reasons why I really like these masts.
Bo will, before they pull away, and probably a little before the speech starts, he's not waving or anything, but he finds Darren in the crowd and kind of, makes eye contact and gives Darren a nod. Once that's done and they are starting to prep to get underway, Gribbo would first check to make sure these supplies are secured, just to make sure they're tied down well. He assumes so, but you don't want to take any chances on these ships. Then after doing that, he'd probably head back, and seeing people here are looking a little unsure, would stand next to them and kind of keep an eye over the railing in this direction to see what they could see.
Serena, however, has thrown all caution to the wind. She's taken off her glasses, buttoned up her jacket, and folded her wings in, and she's climbed up on the bow to look out on the sky. She can't see anything because she's taken her glasses off, but she's definitely excited to get on this journey, completely forgoing any kind of good sense about safety. She's, leaning out across the open sky.
Captain, you know how long of a trip we got out? I don't know if you have a particular destination in mind.
Well, destination, yes. The smudge to the east that we always saw. Travel time, I'm hoping my experiences from before hold, and our speed seems good, though it's hard to tell without the wake and the waves that I'm used to. We should arrive just before sunset, I think. If it's longer than that, I'm a little worried, but it is what it is.
I guess we're going to be spending a night there, sounds like.
Yes,
Maybe we should take some shifts.
The plan was for this to be 3 days, or two full days on the island, 3 nights. Am I doing my math right? Sorry, 2 days flying, 3 days on the island. So 4 nights, I guess, is the plan. That's why you have a week of food that they shipped
Makes
you
sense.
in. So
Well, I'll start just to make sure things go. I might grab a wink at some point just so we can take some shifts. Sounds like Viktor and Rench are doing something similar.
Yeah, Victor's standing up next to Rench here, one hand kind of holding on to one of the masts as his other's kind of absentmindedly runs the silver hammer medallion he wears around his neck through his hands, just looking out over the side and saying, don't see anything around at all, right? You see anything, Rench?
Yes, to the sky.
You can give me perception checks as well.
I guess I'll roll one, but it'll be at probably a negative.
That without your glasses, that's, yep.
Pleased to meet you both. It was Rench.
Yeah.
How
Good
about
to meet you too. Gribbo, is it?
Oh, yeah, Gribbo. Sorry about that.
That's all right. It's all right.
So
Didn't catch your name. Sorry.
Viktor, Rench, and Serena all didn't spot anything. It's endless blue. You do see the smudge that you're heading toward. It is getting slowly larger. Beyond that, not much you can make out. Gribbo, on the other hand, you definitely have better vision, or you're able to spot a few things. One, you can see that below the clouds, it does feel like you are, as the map shows, over an ocean, which is maybe a little surprising, given that the island, took off from the ground in kind of the heart of a large landlocked kingdom. To be over the ocean, you are now suspecting that, well, the islands must be drifting. You are not over wherever your home was. And you don't see any signs of the purple miasma. Then again, you haven't never heard how it may interact with the water below. Above, you do see 3 of the Heaven Isles floating. You can't identify them by name or stories, but as you know, all of them only feature in legends from the ancient ages.
Looks like we're somewhere else now, ocean below us. Rench, you've been around, right?
Your ocean.
Well, that's what I see down there. Oh, I guess you're more central. You probably have a hard time seeing straight down, huh?
That would be correct. Yeah, I'll take a step over just to look down at what Gribbo is looking at, and that's pretty baffling.
And you do notice that Captain Lothlin has to kind of steer the ship a little to keep it level as Rench moves about the deck. Not in a way that's like it's going to overtake, and not like it was a surprise move for him, but the ship's balance is, such that he has to pay attention to the crew's movement.
I'll catch the captain's eyes for just a moment, give him a polite nod, and I'll step back, trying to accommodate it as well as I can. Also, was I mistaken? Maybe I noticed where we were over an ocean, because I was paying attention to some of the other crew. Lori, they're looking kind of green right now. Is that what's happening?
Yes.
Are they okay? Or
it feels like I'm gonna be sick.
No, that ain't good.
And the fact that she's now wedged between other 3 people, they're all looking like they want to move away, but they also like the safety of this sheltered nook against the extra wind and the rustle. This does feel like the safest place on the boat, but she is looking very green and very uncomfortable.
Would I know any techniques to maybe help with I'm assuming some sort of seasickness or something like that. Or can I roll a medicine? I don't know.
Sure, you can roll a medicine to reflect, trying to help a little bit with that.
That's pretty good, 19.
Yeah, you seem to have a couple of ideas. Of course, you also know that it's not always something that's easily treatable, and sometimes it just takes time, and some people never acclimate. You're able to at least convince her that she's not dying from this, and that it's not, she's not about to die, no matter how bad she feels. But you're not able to lessen the conditions much on her. I am going to put the sickened condition on her for at least for now.
Well, if anyone needs a distraction, how about we go below decks and play some cards? I did bring a deck with me.
That
One
is some
moment.
good thinking.
Victor's going to walk over towards Lori and just lay a hand upon her shoulder and go, "Dig deep, child. It's only a little sickness." And he'll put a guidance on her to see if she can help her try to fight it off this turn. It's a saving throw, so...
Okay,
Should work.
I'll allow that. We'll try a
It's
save.
just a temporary relief.
Let me drag that onto her, and we'll see how her save does. Use the guidance. Well, she rolled very well. She rolled a 19 on the die for a 24 total with the guidance. And you see her kind of swallow a little, see her blink. It takes some time. It's probably number of minutes, but you do see the regular color of her face coming back. It's not looking as pale. There was noticeable sweat forming before, and that's kind of faded away. And so she's looking better. Thank you. Was it Father Viktor?
Steward, but you can just call me Victor. That's fine. There's much work to be done. We must prepare ourselves for the journey.
Yes, thank you. I feel a little better, and thank you too, Gribbo. I think your words at least help me focus, and combined with Victor's divine grace, I pulled through that. So this is what they call, I guess, seasickness in the mundane sense, air sickness here. Awful feeling.
But it comes around on occasion. Hey, Victor, you're one of those holy types.
Yes, disciple of the hammer. It's a good life.
Yes. You work in the city with some of the areas of crafting.
Wherever work needs to be done, the hammer is there to support the people who do it.
And so while you were talking, it did sound like Serena was opening the cargo hold and jumping down. And I think at least Silo and Dorn will join you down there for some cards. I'm going to put them down at -5 feet. They might disappear. Yep, they will. Serena's down there as well.
Yeah, so she plays with her marked deck, but she actually doesn't, use its special function.
You can give me a performance, a thievery, a society roll, a games lore, whatever you have of that nature, kind of for how well you're entertaining and keeping their minds off the mission with this.
I think I'll try maybe a thievery roll.
I know you're not trying to cheat,
to
but it's still kind of your card playing ability.
Yeah, she's going to try to entertain them at least with fancy card tricks as she shuffles and things. Okay, and roll.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely impressive to them. It does look like Dorn maybe has seen tricks in the past. I mean, he's been a guard. He's definitely played his fair share of card games to pass the long night. Silu seems a little more impressed by it, despite her even longer life as an elf. She's been alive for quite some time, and these 20 years, they don't feel as long maybe as they do to the rest of the people here. That's just a small passage of time compared to everyone else. But passing the time in a pleasurable manner on the way to something new seems like something she is enjoying quite well. She does look over at you, and shouldn't you have your glasses on while playing cards? How are you still playing so well when you can't see what's happening?
I'm not completely blind, just a bit nearsighted. And this is close enough where I can see the cards pretty well, at least.
I see. And I hear in town you're something of a, what's the right word? A maker of drinks.
Yes, I do make my own homebrew alcohol. It's kind of a pastime of mine. She's kind of glad that this person knows her for her drinks and not her lawyering, because it kind of definitely sets some people on edge.
No, I used to be something, I know it's not the usual tale of elves and heavy drinkers, but, I've been a miner for so long, and, well, when you're a miner, you meet the dwarves and the humans much more than fellow elves, and I kind of fell into the heavy drinking ways. And I've been sad that we can't do that in the kingdom as much as before. What types of alcohol do you make?
So should I roll the lore ahead of time and determine what I should know?
Yeah.
Okay. Should I blind this, or?
No, you can make this public, and you can roleplay your result based on the number that comes up.
Unfortunately, I don't have the stations I would love for it, so I've only really been able to make some really awful swill of beer. I would love to have enough around for some good whiskey or a rum, but, well, you know how it's been up here on the islands.
Doran looks over and says, well, you know there's still always an audience for that awful swill. Guards, workers, if it's cheap, we'll drink it.
Yeah, at the very least, I can make back what it cost me to make it.
We'll jump back up deck. And Viktor, Rench, Gribbo, what else are you doing during the journey? I know you're keeping watch. Like I said, it's also a full day's journey. What else are you doing? How is a long journey feeling to you?
Like Gribble's used to standing guard for a while, so he's probably making some small talk or just kind of, general talk with everybody while keeping an eye overboard. He probably tries to calm down Lori and I forget the one to the north's name. Cynic. Probably, just kind of to keep them a little bit more relaxed, just having some conversation. And it probably glances over at Rench some point and makes an inquiry as to that large crossbow Rench has.
Yeah, just my simple line of defense. You interested? He'll hand it over, as if you have an interest in checking it out.
Yeah, I'll do. I mean, this is for no reason whatsoever, but I, kind of check it over using my crafting skill to kind of, just give it a once over. I'm assuming it's a normal crossbow, but still. Oh.
Yep, it is a standard arbalest.
Yep. Oh, yes, that's right. Arbalest, the new crossbow. But yes. Oh, that seems rather handy.
It's done me pretty well. I call her Henrietta.
You make it yourself, or you manage to find one around the city, or you come to the city with it?
Oh no, this has traveled with me for a long time now. I've built up a small list of things I'm able to cobble together, but never bothered trying anything along the lines of a crossbow. Not yet, anyway.
Fair. Yeah, I do some making of my own. I'm not very good, but gotta work with what you have on the island. You don't have this armor.
Yeah, that we all do. You did that yourself.
Well, yeah, I got a little bit of help from some other people, and, finding the metal was rather difficult, but one needs to keep up one's equipment. That's one thing we learned back when I was working in the guard. Viktor, that hammer seems more like a practical use thing, huh?
The hammer? Yes. Breaking stone, the occasional skull, but I haven't used it for that in quite some time.
Yeah, let's hope we don't need that here, but good to know you're capable.
Don't worry, it will. The hammer is with us, and we'll return safely. I assure you.
And so the next couple of hours just pass. You're kind of lulled into a sense of almost kind of unaware of the passage of time. The landscape barely changes. The clouds pass by. It almost, the sense of motion is constant. There's fewer gusts of wind. There's not any turbulence, and it's a very, very steady voyage. And nearing, would any of you have moved around during this time? Let's say you're getting close to the time that you think, the island in the distance is starting to get larger. You can start to make out details on it. You see some trees. You see the, breaks in the foliage.
Well, Serena would have came back up top and definitely would have resumed her post on the bow.
Somewhere in the middle of the trip, because I'm guessing it's probably about an 8-hour journey if we're going to be. Gribbo would try to grab, maybe 2 hours of sleep just to be prepared, but make sure he's up before the ship lands and probably move, towards the bow to get a view of where we're headed.
Serena's just too excited to sleep or rest or even really think of anything other than getting to another island.
I think Rench just would have taken a seat here on the stairs leading up to the forecastle, just to sort of counterbalance where everyone else is near the back of the ship, and it would just be flipping through that crafter's book where he mentioned he had picked up a few things over the years.
Yeah, Victor's one hand still upon the back mast here as he stands with the others and looks towards the front and calls out, "See if you can spot any good spots to land. I'll keep my eyes on the sky around us, just in case something sneaks up on us." And he's going to kind of keep his eye on behind them and above more than on the island itself. And he'll leave that to Rench, Gribbo, and Serena.
Yeah, so you get a little closer. You start you're probably still maybe a quarter mile, half mile away. The captain is starting to look for places to put in to land. He does have a small, well, probably not small. It's probably similar to Rench's crossbow that he can move and mount on the deck on either side. Fire with a rope to try to tether to a tree is the main method of landing right now. He's looking for that. He sees on the western side there is a little bit of a clearing that looks possible to use and kind of winch in close to. Yeah, but before you get right next to that, he does yell out, "Stay sharp! Flyers inbound. Prepare to repel." And we will have a combat here. Let me get everyone toggled in for initiative.
Oh, let me
You can roll.
we get scout.
Yeah, you can put a
for
scout
mine.
bonus on, and I will roll all the NPCs and the enemies. So you'll see a lot of dice rolling. That is because the commoners are helping out as well. And this is going to be a modified. We'll see how this works. This is a modified rule. Don't blame me if it goes horrible, or I guess you can blame me, but just don't complain during the game. The rule here is going to be effectively if you are flying. So right now, that's only going to affect the enemies. They are being taxed 1 action per round, just maintaining pace with the ship. We're not going to be moving the ship around. We're not going to be moving. So we're keeping it, relative to the ship, and that's costing them 1 action. The counterpoint is for everyone on the ship who is not flying, you will have a -2 on all attack rolls. It's the normal penalty for like an uncontrolled or an out of controlled vessel type of thing from the vehicle rules, kind of hand waved a little. So the captain is keeping things relatively stable. That's taking all of his actions just to give you the -2, but they are all effectively slowed. Does that kind of make sense to people, what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
So there will be more, air combats in the campaign. That's going to be my default ruling. If it's kind of 1 fixed point, multiple flyers, if it's kind of 2 capital ships, we'll do something else. But this is kind of what I'm hoping works well as a basic kind of hand-wavy way to keep things moving and not need an infinitely long map to move the boat around the whole time while we're still doing tactics on the boat. And what you see coming in are 8 eagles off the port side. There they are. You see them off to the port bow, and there are 8 of them. We will begin the encounter. Viktor, you are up first. What would you like to do?
Okay. So Viktor sees them over there. What are you thinking? Yeah, he's going to move towards the front with his allies here. He has 25 feet of movement, so he strides towards the front right next to, not 30, right next to Rench, and he will lean over the gunwale and aim what we got here? Yeah, Divine Lance, why not? See if he can startle it and scare them off. That would have been -2 to that anyway, but it'll be a miss. Kind of goes wide as the ship lurches. That's all 3.
Okay. One of them is up next. So as I said, they only get 2 of their actions. And what does it want to do? It has a high speed with remaining action. It is going to fly in. Oh, perfect. Oh, I need to, again, play with Foundry, put it into fly mode so it knows its speed properly. It flies over right next to the food on deck, and it begins attacking the food, trying to peck through the barrel that it's in to get to it.
Hey, knock that off.
You can tell it's opened a hole in the barrel, but that was its whole turn. Another one of them is up next. It likewise, it needs to spend 2 moves, but it has flown down into the cargo hold. Serena, what are you doing? You've seen 2 birds come. One's on the top deck with you, and one is below deck.
Rench, why are you so far in the turn order? Okay. Just gonna walk over to Rench and cast a runic weapon on his crossbow.
Okay.
Oh,
That's a whole turn.
you get too, Serena.
She puts her hand on the crossbow and be like, "Don't miss."
Got it.
Captain Lothland keeps the ship stable and flying and yells at you all to get the bird out of the hold and get the hold closed. Another eagle is up next. This is the one Viktor shot at. It does seem to recognize that you shot at it, so it is going to close to you, and it is going to peck at Viktor. It will hit Viktor for 2 points of damage. And at this distance, something does seem a little different about these eagles. This would be what you're used to. This is not quite what they look like. The edges of them seem to fade out a little more than you're used to. They seem almost like it's disappearing, or maybe a camouflage or something. You're not sure what it is, but something about them is different. But that was that one's turn. Another one is up. What does this one want to do? This one's also going to go for the barrel on the deck and get there. No, it cannot. Well, it takes 2 actions. It will come and land on the deck next to the barrel of food. They're all just surrounding the food, it looks like. Gribbo, you are up. You have 3 birds on deck, 1 in the hold.
Okay. Well, I've got a bird right next to me. I'm gonna deal with that one. It's going for the food. We're gonna need to patch up that bag, but I'll grab this guy. And I will literally grab that guy. So we're gonna try to grapple with athletics.
You have grabbed a bird.
Okay. My second action will be to raise up my shield, just in case this thing starts pecking at me. And then I'm gonna taunt the eagle that's right here. So this eagle right here. I'm like,
Sorry, can you
I
ping
kind
that
of
again?
flex my muscles. I'll put it up. Hold on. Oh, sorry.
Okay, so yeah.
That eagle.
And can you send
I'm
talk to
like-
the chat?
Yep, sure. Let me get that. Where are we? There we go.
I'm gonna drag it on. I don't know if I need to only do that if it doesn't obey you.
I'm
so
not sure either.
yeah, we'll find out how that works. But that was your 3. So grab, raise shield, and taunt the bird. What was your flavor of how you're taunting the bird?
I would probably kind of do. I don't know a lot about birds, but I'm making like some squawking bird noises at it to kind of draw its attention and give it once it's looking at me, I give it an evil glare.
Okay. Silu is up next. She heard what the captain said, so she is going to take 2 actions to get down into the hold, and 1 action to attack the bird down there. She has a pick in her hand, so she'll try that. Oh, and she gets a natural 20, so that's amazing.
Well, I think
Horrible
we should
sons of
take her in
brutes.
our party. We don't need all these other people.
Yeah, I'll stay at home next time.
There is a dead eagle in the hold now, and there's no animals in the hold, but there is still Silu down there. So if you board it up now, it would take probably 2 actions to close it up if you want to, but that also would strand her from being able to help. Another eagle is up next. Distance, can't get to any food with only 1 action, so I think it's going to come and it's going to try to bother Serena.
Oh no.
The bird comes flying in, lashing out with its talons, I think. Actually, eagle dive. How does this one work? Flies up to double its speed, makes a talon strike that, it doesn't need to do that. It's just going to make a beak here. With a 13 against AC, it does not hit you. And we have 2 more eagles. One's up next. Let's see, this one will come bothers Gribbo. Spread out the attention. They are acting like they're trying to distract you from the ones who are trying to go for the food. It's not quite how you thought birds work, but maybe you haven't encountered birds recently. And with a 22 against AC, this one hits Gribbo, pecking at your exposed head for 3 points of damage.
Gribbo will block that with their shield.
Okay. Senek is up next. He is going to stride over. Actually, he wants to stay in the middle of the boat. He doesn't want to be by the edge. And he will try to just punch one of these eagles on the deck. He also hits. Actually, make sure that's a hit. Yeah, because they don't have the -2 on it, but it does hit. It also doesn't have the flank, which he would benefit from, so that cancels out. So he punches one of the eagles on the deck for 3 points of damage. It squawks and mantles at him a little. And, he actually has 1 more action. He would try a second one. And he hits on a second time. Actually, yes, it would still hit because the flanking and the heaving boat cancel each other out. He has defeated 1. Rench.
That's more exciting. All right, of the 2 that are trying to eat our food, one of them's currently grabbed, so I'm going to focus on the other one here. And Serena did just juice up my crossbow real nice-like. So let me aim at this eagle here and see if I can encourage him to leave the area. Just take aim here, even though it's up close, and fire away. Hold still, birdie.
That's a critical hit.
Oh, wow.
Can you hover over, or can you ping the one again? I missed the target, I'm sorry. Thank you. Yeah, that one is completely pulverized. I'm going to say it's even launched all the way off the boat by the strength of the bolt. So it's evaporated, turned into mist, and just blown away.
Yep.
Gribbo, these might be, Rich, these might be good eating. Don't be firing them over the edge.
My fault. All right, well, for my second action, I am then going to clear a path. I can shove a nearby opponent and reload as an interact action, and this one here that is facing off against Viktor, let's see if we can get this one to take to the skies also. So let me get over my macro thing here, and let's see if I can shove this eagle here to the direct north of me.
Yeah, you're able to shove him. I mean, he was still flying, so you just pushed him a little bit away. He's still flapping and squawking. It doesn't trip him. It doesn't make him fall from the sky, but he's moved a little bit over.
Yep, that makes sense. That does also give me a opportunity to reload my weapon. And I'm not going to follow behind here, but I am going to then take a shot at that one as well. Try to clear this up a little bit. And with that shove, that is a attack trait. So, well, that one's going to get taken by the breeze.
Yep. And the final eagle, who had not arrived yet, is going to come flying in, 2 actions to land next to the open barrel of food. Lori, who is no longer sickened, let me take that off, you fix that. She has a pitchfork. Not the best weapon for dealing with birds, but she'll try to do her best. She does have reach with it at least, so she comes over, she runs along the starboard side, finds the bird that most recently arrived, and is going to stab at it. But maybe the seasick or the air sickness is still affecting her despite having cleared it. So she stabs at the bird, but is closer to stabbing the food than the bird itself. She looks a little ashamed and tries again. And they're nothing like the crows. These things seem to be, I don't know, aggressive, smart. Usually just waving a weapon's enough to get rid of them. And Dorn will make his way up in front of, kind of ducking under the waving pitchfork and trying to get a bead on the same one. And he has a small little nightclub stanchion type thing, and he's going to try to bash the bird with it. And maybe it doesn't quite have the height to get to the birds, flying 5 feet off the ground, small halfling, trying to wave the stick, not really getting anywhere close, but he does try a second time, and he is not having any success with that. Top of the round, it is Viktor's turn again.
Okay, first thing, he's going to take a close look at this bird, see if he can figure out what's going on. Something seems off with them. Not sure if that worked. I used
Let me take a look. Yeah. Yeah, something about these, you can tell that they are roughly eagles. You're used to eagles, so, what would you want to know about eagles in general? And then I'll tell you a little bit of the special things as well. But you can know the general eagle stuff relatively straightforwardly.
Whether these kinds of eagles had any sort of special attack or anything to be worried about in that regard, whether they're known for dive bombing or things along those lines.
Yeah, dive bombing is kind of their known strategy, and they're kind of doing it. They're not doing exactly that. Usually be more of a raking dive with their talons. The fact that they're all kind of getting close and pecking is slightly unusual, but not unheard of. They probably will tend to fly off if there wasn't, and they would keep repeating those kind of slashing attacks. Sometimes they would even, close their talons to try to knock something out. They're not doing that here. And it does seem like they're more focused on the smell of the grain and the food that's with you. But then the differences that you're seeing about them, something about them does seem a little odd. You can't put your finger on it, even with a very good roll there. But they do seem to be fading away, dispersing. They're not concealed. It's not like a mist form. But their outer edges are very hard to read, and it's almost as if they are becoming air, disappearing. You're not sure exactly what's going on there, but it is unusual.
We'll lodge that in the memory banks for later, and then proceed to... Oop, that wasn't the attack one I wanted. Let me get that on my hotbar. There we go. Brings them all around and tries to bash this one completely off the side here.
That will hit it. And another one just goes tumbling off down into the void below. You're too high up to hear a splash.
Yeah, he calls out, Gribbo has a point, but be careful. There's something off about them. He's going to, he's got 1 action left. Yeah, let's do guidance on Gribbo here. He'll reach a hand out and radiant energy will kind of coalesce around you there.
Wow, I feel all tingly, thanks.
And the one that's grabbed by Gribbo, you see it kind of look at Gribbo. You see it look at the food by its side that's kind of exposed. Doesn't like being grabbed. It is going to try to escape. So we'll try a acrobatics to break the grab. 15 against your fortitude or athletics DC.
17.
So it does not get out. It will then try a second time to just peck you. It does not like this. And I'm going to say that while grabbed, what do you think? Should it have the -2 or should it get all of its actions? Or should it has to or lose an action to
Oh,
stay
I think it should
flying?
get all its actions. It's
Okay.
not flying.
Yep.
I mean, this is iterative and stuff.
Yep.
That's fine.
So it misses, and it is just going to spend its third action helplessly kind of mantling and screeching in your face. It doesn't have Intimidate. I'm not going to roll one, but it's trying to intimidate you. It's not succeeding. But that would be its third action here. Serena.
Serena looks around at this wooden construction while holding a small fireball in her hand and decides maybe that's not a good idea. She's instead pulls out a lance of unholy energy and spikes it into the one that's right in front of her, the one that pecked at her. So she shoots it with a divine lance, or at least hopes to. Oh, yeah, she gets it done.
Yeah, she does. Roll your
There we go.
damage with that critical hit. Divine Lance. And that's, I need to double that still. And that one is, what does your unholy energy look like? And what does it do to this poor eagle that just wanted to eat?
Her unholy energy is like a sickly, like purplish red color of her father's magic, and it kind of twists and warps them in like a corrupting sort of light. And it honestly makes her sick to even use it, but that's what she has to do. It's what her magic does. And then she
Not
looks
sure
at
we want to. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely hear a little from muttering behind you from like Senec, Dorn, and Lori. Color of the miasma. The beasts. Have they got to Serena?
no, just devil magic. Sorry. She's going to look at Lori and be like, get that one away from the feed, please. And she's going to give a diabolic edict. Oh, I don't have... Oh, didn't give myself a focus point. There you go. And it takes 1 point of fire damage for the small eagle.
Wait, how does
Sure
this
we
work?
want to eat that one.
So you issue a diabolic edict demanding the target perform a particular task, offering rewards. So it's a willing creature. So you're trying to buff Lori. Is that what you're doing? And damage.
Yes.
And who is that 1 point of damage affecting?
The small eagle.
The
It
one.
says a target. It doesn't say, it has to be Lori or anything.
That does have to be a target of the spell. I
Yeah,
think
it has
is
to be a
the-
target of the spell. So if you're targeting Lori with the diabolic edict, the blood magic would affect her. So I guess, are you doing
Okay,
damage to
then I guess
Lori,
I
or are
don't
you
do
taking a
that.
bonus to?
I don't wanna hurt-
Taking a bonus to your
No.
own deception checks.
I'll take the bonus to deception checks.
Okay, that makes sense. We're all learning new characters here. So Lori feels compelled to help get rid of that. I mean, she'd do it anyway, so I guess this is giving a bonus, but she might feel a little odd about it. Captain Lachlan keeps the boat going. He is saying, get the hold closed. We can't lose the bulk of the food. Gribbo.
Well, Gribbo's got a grabbed eagle, so let's start out by bashing it with my shield, because that seems like what I would do here. -2/+2, presumably, with the...
-2 + 2. Yep. So,
yeah.
And you had guidance on it. So
yep. So that will hit.
Yeah, that's okay. I didn't use it. I'm going to assume that I didn't, because I might do something else with that. Wait, oh, sorry. Is that... Okay, that's not the right strike. Sorry, let me get my shield boss. Here we go.
Oh, that was a shield bash rather than a shield boss.
Yeah, I'm going to roll the attack just to get the numbers up for damage. Yeah,
Yeah. Number doesn't matter here.
just the damage.
Just roll the damage.
So 9 damage to this eagle.
And you have a bloody, bashed, broken bone eagle in your hand.
I will drop it. I don't, let go. And then I'm gonna listen to the captain and move over here, and I will try to close up the hold.
Yep, I said it would take 2 actions, so that's 1 action worth. You can roll me an athletics check. On a critical success,
And-
you can do it in 1.
Yeah. I'll use the guidance here. Head over to the hold and just grab it and start to yank. Guidance, there we go. Actually, 26.
Off by 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
But
You got it mostly-
does it start to close? Okay.
you got it halfway closed.
Yep.
Silu is down there. I guess she is next. So Silu is going to spend an action climbing out of the hold, and she will spend the other action to try to help finish closing it off. So you have it's not really a latched cover, but at least you have these boards now completely covering the access to the cargo hold. And after that, she's just going... Oh, I need to have her not at -5 anymore. She is going to, I think, just back up to kind of watch what's happening and decide where to help next turn. One of the eagles that was going for Serena is going to take a peck, and with an 18 against
Ow.
AC will hit. for 2 points of damage, and it sees that a lot of the flock has been killed, and it is going to fly off the way they came in initially. Cynic is up next. He has one alive next to him, so he's going to just punch it. That's all he has for weapons. And with a 16, he will hit it. That one looks very, very bloodied by that punch. You see the neck is kind of at a weird angle. One of the wings is kind of not quite wanting to work right. But he will take a second punch on it, and he misses. And what is he going to do after that? He's going to go stand on top of that platform just to help make sure it stays closed. Rench.
All right, well, Zenek, that was a good job. I'm going to almost feel maybe a little sad about this poor little bird as I reload my crossbow with my first action, aim downwards at this thing, which is still trying to peck it away at our food, and I'm just going to... It's a mercy killing. I know they're just hungry, but too important.
And that's going to hit it. Pin it right to the deck.
22. Give it 10 right there.
I believe we only have one alive who is flying away. Are you going to try to shoot that one down as it flies away, Rench, or are we out of combat?
No, I would need to reload anyway with my my final action, and I think that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to keep a real close eye on it, make sure it's not circling around trying anything funny. But that's the end of my turn right there.
Okay, I will call this combat over then, because it has enough speed that it's likely getting away from you all, because it can move 130 feet even with the penalty we're talking about. So.
Before it gets away, I'm going to throw a Divine Lance at it.
Okay.
Because I flipped a coin to decide whether or not she would try.
Yep, you would get it. I think it might be just out of your reach, though. It's at 65.
She can move.
She can move 5. Then... Yes, she can. Okay. She's not letting.
Give it, maybe.
Yeah. So it's a chance, but she's going to try to take it because she's a little angry.
Yep. So that was a miss. And at this point now, it's moving 130 feet per turn faster than you. So it's going to be out of range, I think, before Rench gets another shot. That'd be at a range increment or 2 and definitely out of Serena's range. So I think we are out of the combat, and that one will have gotten away.
I was going to try to make sure, maybe cinch up, or at least hold this hole closed until we can get something to cinch it up with on the sack up here.
Yeah. Captain looks out. Think we did a good job there. They just got they got into one of the barrels, but I don't think they spoiled it or ate much. Doesn't look like we lost any of our food. Good job, all.
And we got at least three new chickens here. I guess they're not quite chickens, but they might be edible. I'll take a look.
Take a look here, Gribbo. And Victor's gonna come over, and as you're holding one, look at the edges.
Oh yeah.
Wisp-like. It's almost like it's
Gribbo's gonna take
fading
a look,
away.
but not to figure out about the mist, because they don't know anything about that. But they try to figure out how well this would cook up. If I think it would, be permanent.
If you have a cooking lore, if you don't have that, I would take survival.
We'll do survival.
Meanwhile, I think Serena is going to try to see if this is a magic effect on them, because
Sure.
she is their magic.
So Gribbo, with a natural 20 on that, you do know that most large birds of prey are not particularly good eating. They tend to accumulate not diseases, but toxins. They tend to just be a little unhealthy. They tend to be very bad tasting anyways. You're kind of thinking this is not likely to be good food.
Yeah, I guess we don't want this. You can toss them overboard. Well, I guess they're all shimmery, like Viktor said.
Serena?
I don't know what caused that.
Let's see. Double check one thing here. So with detect magic, you do know they have something magic about them, but with your recall knowledge, you don't know what it is going on.
Okay, well, there's something magical about them, but I wouldn't be able to tell you what. It's something.
And the rest of the crew also looks around and looks pretty impressed. You came through that with minor damage, I believe, on Serena and Viktor. None of the NPCs got attacked, and your food came through alive. Or not alive, but intact. So they seem pretty impressed, and they also conducted themselves well. You saw I think there were 2 crits from the NPCs, And that did well for you all. The captain
Dale did a
keeps
great job. Rench is going to make sure they know that.
the captain.
Was it the old man who got the critical? I think this one right here.
Silu did also.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah.
Silu jumped down in the
Yes.
hold and crit one.
Silu crit
that's
the
right,
one down
yeah,
below
that was
with
great,
with a fatal pick, so that helped.
Yeah.
And man, I think Lori was the only one who never hit anything. Actually, I don't think Dorn hit either. So I think Lori and Dorn both didn't hit, while Senek and Silu both had a number of strong hits. But the captain now works to get closer and closer into the island. The sun is getting low; it's not quite set yet, but you can tell Lothlin is eager to get the vessel moored and maybe figure out a more defensible position or way to hold your supplies. He finally finds a good place. Let me change your maps yet again. I need to drag you onto this one. Sure, stream is seeing this nicely. Yes, it is. There we go. So you have arrived. He has the boat tethered to one of the trees here, and looks like we got about 2 hours before sunset. How should we set up? What do you guys want to use this time for? What do we need to do? Be nice to have a little bit of a perimeter here. Be nice to get some shelter. We don't have much. You can chop down some trees and stack them up as either a wall or try to make a lean-to. We could even chop down some trees and layer them on top of the hold if we think that would help keep the birds out if they come back. I don't know. How do you all want to spend the time? This is now part of our mission.
Shelter first.
Yeah, I think Serena is going to spend time trying to craft a shelter herself as well. She doesn't have the ability to knock down a tree unless it's with magic, and I don't think anyone wants her to do that. So she'll just wait till the logs are here and then set them up in a way to block the wind and stuff.
Yep. Viktor will come over and assist and help you there, and I'll do an assist roll for that then. We all have crafting. It's funny.
Yeah. Before we go off, make sure we set up a little off we don't want to be right on the edge of this, obviously.
And so while you're doing that, I think the 4 NPCs, they all have some axes they will take out and try to get a couple of trees down just to have some more things to work with. So I will roll their checks first to see how that goes. And we'll just do that with their basic attack roll. Oh, that's weird. They lost their name on this page. I'll have to see what happened there. So Silu, once again, showing her ability with anything she holds in her hands. She definitely scores a crit. Senek, less good. Dorn, less good. And I don't expect this to be Lori's strength, but we'll see how she does. Nope. So you've gotten 2 trees down over the hour. So you have, two trees to work with in terms of raw materials. You can, break some branches off those to try to do some of your smaller work. You could do whatever else you want. You don't have a lot of lumber. It's not been processed into planks or anything like that, but you do have 1 tree worth for whatever the 4 of you were thinking of doing.
So honestly, with just 1 tree, we could do a lean-to, something like stacking the logs in an arch and then putting the branches over the top of it to just create some kind of cover.
You can give me a crafting or survival roll for that. If anyone is aiding, you can aid. If you want to do your own rolls, though, that's also fine. You each get to do 1 roll for this.
Here.
Yep.
Figure we could do it up against one of the trees to kind of have an additional tree, to help out.
That is an aid from Viktor, so a +1 on whoever's doing the primary roll.
I'll do the primary roll since I think we're all about a +5-ish.
Yeah, it was your good idea.
Yep.
Yeah. So Serena, with Viktor's aid, you've made a decent sized lean-to. You think it would keep, it won't really keep the rain off you, but it keeps the wind off, and it's a little less exposed. It feels safer. You think it's more psychological than actual, but you have a large enough lean-to that can accommodate the 9 of you, and we still would have
also wants to. Sorry.
Gribbo and Rench still have options in this hour.
Yeah, I want to make sure the food's secure and the ship's secure. So, shelter is good, but if the ship floats away, we're in a lot worse off position, I think. So, I'll make sure everything is secure on board. I don't know what sort of check you want.
Crafting or thievery?
Crafting it is.
Yeah, let me give you a hand with that also.
Yeah, sure.
I got the same in mind, so I'll give the assist here.
Okay.
See what I can do to help.
No help from Rench.
What? Don't
I did pretty
worry.
well though. 21.
Pretty close. Like, you weren't getting in the way, but you just didn't help.
Yeah.
Gribbo, you managed to, you maybe have to pull out an extra rope or two from someone to do some more a secondary or a tertiary mooring to help keep the boat here. The captain seemed like he knew what he was doing and got it secured, but you've done more, and likewise you've lashed the cargo hold cover down over the food. You do know that it's gonna make it a little harder in the morning if you want to get to that, but the barrel on the deck should be enough for at least the first day here, and then you'll need to get into the hold for any extra food.
Oh no, I'll just hold the barrel back over. We're gonna need it on land, so we might as well bring it out with me.
Okay. You get 1 more hour in the evening here to work on your camp condition. What would you like to do each?
I think I would like to clear away some brush using the ignition's cantrip just to burn it away. Then she would pop her cooking pot in the center to, mark where they would probably set up a fire to cook with.
Okay. Give me whatever your magic tradition roll is for the brush clearing.
Oh, it's divine magic, so do I have to use religion?
You can use religion is normal, but if you have a different magic tradition that's better, even if it's not the one you use, I'd allow you to use that here.
Okay, I'm going to use Arcana.
So yeah, that's going to be moderately successful. Does that look like a small amount spread over, or a large area partially cleared, or a couple small areas fully cleared? What's her personality on this kind of task?
So mostly a small area, mostly cleared, right in front of the lean-to, right where everyone's going to be setting up for the night. Mostly to get the ground cleared so that they can put down their sleeping bags without having to worry about being uncomfortable.
So, there's initially the nice kind of campfire smell kind of wafting over the area, but there is the barest hint of brimstone mixed in as well that does make it a little less pleasant. But you have cleared out a good amount of space, and you've set up a small cook fire to begin cooking. Who wants to go next?
I'm thinking the perimeter needs to be shored up a bit. That
Want me to
might
go
not
with
be.
you out there? We'll take a look and make sure that there's nothing dangerous in the area.
Yeah, sure thing, Gribbo. Let's see
Just
what we
seeing
can
if we
set
get
up here.
seeing if you get any more trees.
That pick is deadly, literally.
Yeah, and finally, Lori with an axe instead of her pitchfork this time. You got 2 more trees down, so you used up most of. No, I wouldn't say most. You've used up about half of a tree for the lean-to. You do have 2.5 trees now, kind of down in the area here to work with. And but what were you? I didn't quite understand what your goal was with what you were trying to do.
Scouting out the area kind of outside the camp, but not too far, just to make sure, if there's a pack of wolves out there, we're not going to try to fight it, but it's good to know if they have, a home or what's in the immediate area.
Sure. Give me a perception check on that then, or a survival,
And
I guess, for tracking.
Rench is going with me, so yeah.
Yeah, we're both gonna check that out. I mean, the
I'll
eagles
do the
were already-
survival, and yeah.
Sure.
You can
Yeah,
do
the
the
eagles were
perception.
fading away into the air. I mean, who knows what other
Yeah.
strange things might be going on with these animals.
Let's hero point that. Yeah, well, it's better.
Hero point,
16.
that's a great idea. See, we're both doing that, so that's why we're both
You
scouting.
won better.
And just to let the audience know, so we are changing the hero point rules from what I used to use. In other campaigns, my normal rule is a hero point cannot make things worse. This time around, we're saying if the hero point makes something worse, you get the hero point worse in terms of a degree of success. You get the hero point back. In this case, you all had fails that stayed fails. So you spent the hero point. You didn't get a better degree of success. You're looking around, and it's probably just this is all still feeling unusual enough to you. Sure, Rench, you had explored, the outlands before. You're not used to civilization, but you are not only a civilized person. You've been out in the wild some, but it's been 20 years, and just remembering what sights and sounds are dangerous or indicate anything, it's going to take you some time to get used to that again. There's definitely the susurration of insects. You hear some other bird calls. The bird calls don't sound like the raptors. They sound like songbirds. They do get quieter as you're close. You hear the snapping of branches from time to time. You think there's scurrying rodents of something around, but you're not seeing signs of anything dangerous. And Gribbo is much the same. The area is untamed, but does not appear dangerous. And Viktor.
Yeah, I think with the additional lumber that they've been getting, he's going to try to make a bit more of a windbreak, help give the camp a little more shelter here, and do some crafting.
Yeah, that's fairly effective. You can basically make a 20-foot section that you want to, if you want to, actually I'll say a 30-foot section you can draw on the map for where you've kind of set up a little bit of a low palisade, a low windbreak, whatever you want to consider it, if you want to draw that where you want it.
Yeah, it would probably be, what do we think? On the outside would probably make more sense.
Probably on the edge between some trees.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Here,
Maybe.
here, whichever.
Yeah, let's do like along this side here. We can work out a little better of the exact one, but let me just freehand this. Draw a polygon. Kind of like this. So we at least have some cover. Oh, are we gonna stick? No, didn't want to. Weird. Can you put one there for me, Thane? It's not sticking for mine.
Can you ping the 2 endpoints you want it, basically?
Yeah. We'll go like up here to down here, blocking a little bit of the access from the eastern path, but we can still go around while still having kind of a windbreak there. Okay.
And let's see, the lean-to you made was attached to which tree? Can you ping that one? Was it the small one right here, or was it the red one by the boat, or the green one at the end of the windbreak? I think it was the green one here, so I will also draw that in for you.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
Kind of have, I'll make it like that, a little bit of a lean-to there. Okay, so you spent 2 hours when you arrived on this island. You fell some trees, you cleaned out some of the brushland kind of in this area, and erected a little bit of a windbreak, a little bit of a palisade. It's about probably like the two trees piled high, so it's like probably a 2-foot tall palisade there. So it's a little bit of cover against the ground. Not really, if there's humanoids or wolves, it won't be much, but at least it's a little bit of a place to put your back against and not feel the wind all the time. And it looks like Serena started doing some cooking. It's not much. You were sent off with mostly some potatoes, a couple of onions. That's really the bulk of your supplies. It's not a lot of options, but it's what grows easily on the island right now and what they have. And basically roasted potatoes and roasted onions for dinner without much spice. But that's maybe even still better than the fallback of the forage from Create Food that was often the early days at the Hanging Bastion.
Good, thank you. I don't mind helping you with some cooking later on, but I'll let you take over for now. I'll let you handle that.
It's the first night. I'll just get the fire going and cook up some stew with these potatoes, and maybe throw some of these improvised chickens in there.
No, we can't use those. They won't be good.
We can't use those? Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Birds of prey aren't the best eating. Especially that one you put that purple stuff into.
I threw that off the side.
Oh, that's good.
And you do see the rest of the crew kind of, what was that purple fire? That seemed like the stories of the enemy.
That was a gift from my father. She taps her horns. Don't worry about it. It's a different source. Something a little bit more normal, weirdly.
You don't leak purple mist from your body, do you?
Not at all.
And you were chosen to be here. You must be safe, right?
Yep. I'm pretty sure I would have been tossed off the island if my magic was actually a problem.
Yeah, don't worry about Serena. She might be a little odd, but she's a good one, mostly.
Hey.
If this does come to a diplomacy check, I will.
No, they won't need a check on this, but they're all
fair.
They're still a little nervous. It does seem like they're getting over it a little. It's not something they've seen much of, and it did match the stories. Most of them never saw the enemy. They all 4 of them were generally people who stayed in the capital region. Lori worked the fields here. Senek was a laborer around town. Dorn was a guard. Silo used to work at some of the mines to the north, but was in the town when the crisis happened. But none of them really dealt with or had to run away or escape outlying settlements. But they don't have direct memories of it, just the stories that have been passed down. Captain looks around at all and says, "Well, we've established a small beachhead here. The boat's secure. I think we're ready for our first night here." We'll take watches in pairs. There's a lot of us to go around. We don't
Sounds
need
good.
to establish who's taking what watch, and we can
Okay.
just hand wave that. And you wake up in the next morning. Everyone feels a little stiff, a little groggy maybe. You're not used to sleeping on the ground. Maybe you're not used to sleeping with, all these people you don't know close by. Sound of different breathing, different snores. No one slept perfectly. But you've had your now a quick breakfast of more roasted potatoes, and the captain addresses you all. We made it through the first night. Now the hard work begins. 5 of us will stay here. We'll clear some more trees for increased visibility and lumber to bring home or to reinforce our camp. Tomorrow we'll harvest some topsoil, whatever plants we see. We were told if you can find a grassland, that might be better for us for the soil gathering, so if you can find one of those today, that would be great. You 4 start scouting. See if you can find anything more unique. Domesticatable animals, transplantable plants, knowledge, anything. Try to return to the camp in the evening to report in.
Gladly.
That sounds good.
Aye, Captain.
What's our best plan here? How we want to do? Maybe follow, not right on the edge, but follow one edge line around and see where it goes.
I say we head for the dead center myself.
No. Do we have any idea how big this island is, out of curiosity? Or
It looked smaller than the home island, but still
Okay.
large.
okay.
Yeah,
So we
Victor's
could-
going to take a look and see if he sees any points high points to the island. Anywhere we can get a lookout here.
Something with real elevation. Yeah.
I mean, as you were arriving, you were able to see a little bit of that. I mean, as described, you were arriving late in the day, so the captain didn't want to overfly the whole island. And as he mentioned, the winds get rough near the islands. He doesn't like to maneuver too much above and close to the edge. So getting in fast, getting secured, and getting moored up seems to be what he wants. But you still saw there were a number of clearings throughout the island. Not much detail beyond that. It definitely is a little bit curved shaped. It seems like it does rise toward the center. There was no mountain or barren hilltop though that you saw on the early approach. But it is taller near the center. If you wanted to, find a tree to climb, being closer to the center is likely to give you better visibility.
All right. You all want to head that way then?
Yes, I would love to go to the center of the island.
Okay. You'll be able to find your way back, Serena?
I mean, I could mark the trail.
Yeah, we should probably make sure we do that. So yeah, I mean, we probably don't move on this map, I'm guessing, but
No.
we're gonna head towards the center.
Yeah, so abstractly, I'm running the exploration portion type here in 4-hour turns. You get 3 of them per day is what I'm kind of going with. And the main 2 there's 3 main options. You can kind of survey, which I think is what you're doing, trying to just travel somewhere, keeping your eyes peeled, trying to find a landmark, trying to find something of interesting. So that's survey. You could always stay back and reinforce the base in some way if you want as one of the 4-hour units. Or you can just forage, which is more not really looking for anything new, but just kind of perusing an area that you've found before or an area you're at to just get whatever is there. You know generally surveying to find a useful place and then foraging is probably a good idea rather than just foraging around the landing site, but you always could do that as well. So it sounds like you're wanting to survey right now for the first 4 hours, and I can take perception, survival, or nature, or if you have a different skill you'd like to make a case for kind of how well this first expedition goes.
It's fine. We'll survival.
I would like to instead use guidance to boost their
Sure.
rolls.
Yep.
I'll hit each one of them
I'll
with
do
guidances to
nature.
help them
Yeah, I'll allow that.
as a support.
Are these open rolls or secret?
Yeah, these can be open.
That seems good.
Yeah, those
It's a
are
1920.
all successes. Someone else just give me a d20 roll. Let's say Gribbo. Just give me a flat d20 roll.
Oh god.
Okay.
Probably better here than other places,
Yep.
but
So-
I can use my hero point to re-roll that.
I usually want to allow that, but I will allow that right now.
Wait, I want
Okay,
that one
bro.
to split open and drop us all?
You
No,
know,
it
it
isn't that bad.
does.
This is just
how do I roll? I can't re-roll this.
just
I
roll
don't want
another
to see
d20.
what's. I don't.
Yeah, that's
I don't want to see what's the
Come
one
on, second
that,
natural
that
one.
table.
No, I got a 16. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Uh,
So you've found a number of things. One, you think you've drifted a little north of your planned journey to the center of the island. Maybe just the fact that going uphill is a little harder, so you've kind of been veering off to the side of one of the hills all along. And up ahead of you, you do think you see a clearing that looks a little more man-made, or at least man-influenced. You see a dilapidated farmhouse, you see overgrown fields. On the way there as well, you did pass a set of boar tracks that you think you could backtrack and find your way and to track a pack of boars, it looks like. And there was a area also that you could stop at in the future that looked like it just had a little more plant growth, a little more variety. It might be worth going back to forage that location to search for whatever might be valuable to bring back. So in the first 4 hours, you've identified at least a foraging location, some trackable boars, and you're at or just outside the clearing of a farmhouse. What would you like to do?
Check out the farmhouse, probably.
Yeah, the farmhouse
Might have
seems like
supplies.
the best bet for like new seeds and stuff, and
Yeah.
just like maybe some journals or anything that could help us explain what's been going on this island as well.
Gribbo's looking for metal. That's their thing. Very important.
Okay, let me put you on
Sounds
the
good.
overgrown farmstead. And so if you're at one of these type of locations, these will not be counting your, this does not use up one of those 4-hour windows of time. Only those other actions do, unless you end up spending 4 hours here. So let me make sure this is visible on stream. Good. So yes, you have arrived at a, looks like it was an old homestead of some kind. You see the roof is a little caved in. The fields are obviously completely overgrown. There is all kinds of variety of vegetables here, it looks like. There's a little bit of a smell. Maybe it's rotten vegetables. Maybe enough here doesn't get devoured by whatever lives on this island, and it's kind of going to waste and rotting a little. So there is definitely a smell of that here. You see a dried up riverbed. Looks like there's no water in it. Not really a surprise. A lot of these, your home island, the lake was draining out off until the mages used the wall of stone to block all the rivers and keep the water in. So without that kind of support, unless there's a spring on the island, you're not surprised that there's not a source of water here. It must still rain enough because there is plenty of greenery here. And that's what you see. What do you want to do?
Well, let's go figure out what's worth taking here. Make sure there's nothing bad. I'll have my shield kind of raised as I'm approaching.
I'll follow behind.
I'll
I would
bring
like
up
to
the
check
Keeping
rear.
that farm out there.
Yeah. Let's see what's inside.
So,
Quick.
go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was just gonna say I'll probably want to search inside the farmhouse too.
Okay, so yeah, you've stepped inside the farmhouse. You can give me a first. So you've stepped inside. What's everyone else doing? I guess. Are you all stepping inside with him? Are you?
Victor's at the door with his maul out. He's just keeping an eye towards the vegetation surrounding the place. He wants Gribbo to check inside, but he wants to make sure nothing comes up behind them.
It's rather unlikely, but she's casting detect magic to see if there's anything around here that's putting off some kind of magic signature.
Okay. And Rench?
I'm gonna keep a watch out here again towards that overgrown garden. If it turns out everybody does go inside, I will follow suit, but it's gonna be a little snug.
So I would like everyone to roll initiative at that point. Is you definitely hear something moving underneath all of the vegetables. Something is there. You're not sure what, and we will find out what happens next week. Thank you all for tuning in for the first episode of our Surviving the Sky custom homebrew campaign. As I mentioned, parts of this might be a little familiar from the playtest of a similar idea last year, but there'll be some unique tweaks coming up. Thank you all, and good night.